Well, in the last few minutes, it appears results have started to come in. Let's get the very latest from our reporter there, Pamela Ambler, who is live for us. Pamela, good to see you. So bring us up to date. What are the latest results telling us?
Yes, well, it was a very tight race with a record 60% voter turnout rate, the highest since the territory's handover in 1997. The polls were supposed to close at 10:30 p.m. last night local time, but long lines of people congested a few of the polling stations. That saw the voting go on for hours past the ballot time, and hence we still haven't had the results yet. And now all of Hong Kong is holding their breath, awaiting the final results. To break it down for you, there are 7 seats up for grabs. The Democrats would need a third of the council seats. That's 24 seats in order to veto pro-Beijing plans. The results at this moment, as it stands, we're looking at 28 seats for the pro-establishment camp and 18 for the opposition, that is the Pan-Democrats. And to complicate matters this year, a new force has joined in on the election, a band of young localists who emerged after the umbrella movement. The Electoral Affairs Commission had barred some of them from running this year, but those that are in the race would eat up some of the votes of the traditional Pan-Democrats. Now, the pro-establishment camp, on the other hand, would largely be unaffected.
So give us a bit more detail about these youthful candidates. These are the ones that emerged in those 2014 pro-democracy protests, one of them being Nathan Law, who was only a few weeks ago nearly put in jail. Talk us through that.
That's exactly right. Some from the localist group have also taken on violent means to communicate their ideas in the past. They say that their peaceful approach at the umbrella movement or Occupy Central just didn't get to the effect that they wanted and was just overlooked. This is also why, for the very first time, polling stations were heavily guarded by police in fear of localist retaliation. About 5,000 police were deployed to keep order. Now, half a dozen candidates who had independent notions were barred from running prior to the election. As we mentioned, one of the winning candidates from the localist group said that there had been threats and intimidation before, and that will no longer be novelties in Hong Kong politics moving forward.
Pamela, tell us what's at stake here, because I believe the chief executive position wasn't up for vote, yet that may come into play as a result of these elections.
Well, the chief executive's position is still will be voted on later on, but separate from the Legislative Council. The problem here is they don't want the Legislative Council to be held by the pro-Beijing groups, which is the majority right now as it stands. But as I mentioned, if the pro-democracy camp reaches the 1/3 amount of seats, they have a right and they have more of a voice to have a say on pro-Beijing plans. They are, of course, the localists, as I mentioned earlier, are the ones with the more radical ideas. They have been pushing for Hong Kong's independence, and that, of course, is all going to play a role in how Beijing reacts to the politics of Hong Kong here.
Okay, Pamela, good to speak to you. Pamela Ambler there in Hong Kong. Those results still coming through. We will bring you updates as we get them.